To one and all present here, Switch India is a pan-India healthcare organization of 1,500 and more medical professionals all across 6 states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan and Karnataka, working on various social activities including conducting free health checkup camps, working on physical and mental health, spreading awareness on various medical conditions and so forth. Myself, Trupti Parekh, a medical personnel from Mumbai, co-head of Awareness Cell at Switch India and in charge of organizing this webinar today, along with my co-head Deep Sagar Kundu from Chennai. On behalf of this NGO, we have Dr. Twinkle Karya and Siddhay Gurav, who are healthcare personnel having an experience with health education on various medical topics. In the wake of COVID-19 crisis, most of the institutions have started online teaching for their students. Amidst all of it, the teachers are facing problems like dried, burning eyes, neck pain, backache, spasms, and various stresses due to inappropriate posture, changes in lifestyle, use of screen for long hours of teaching online. We have also some medical students attending today's sessions. We welcome you all. A request to all the medical students to direct their medically relevant questions to me, that's Trupti, on WhatsApp. Your questions will be answered separately so as to not create any confusion for the other participants here. I'll just share my WhatsApp number in the chat box in a while. I would like all the participants to kindly keep your mics muted so that there are no external disturbances while the speakers are presenting their talk. In case of any doubts or questions, you can put them in the chat box and our presenters will be addressing them towards the end of the session. Over to you, Siddhay and Twinkle.
Thank you, Trupti. Good evening, one and all. I'm Siddhay Gurav and I am the co-presenter for today's talk, which is Work from Home Ergonomics. So basically, in today's crisis of COVID-19, many of us have started on online teaching classes and online teaching education for our institutions. In the wake of this, many of us are facing many health conditions, many health ailments as such, namely neck pain, back pain, ankle pain, etc. So in today's session, we talk about a few things so as to how these aches and pains develop, what kind of detrimental effects do they have on our bodies, and what are the possible solutions and effectiveness that we can, or steps that we can take to reduce all these problems. So as our attendees today are teachers, so basically, since all of you have usually take attendance of your students, we will start here, and we're going to play a little game kind of students attendance round. I'll say one word as in back pain, and all the attendees who experience back pain can drop a yes or a no in the chat box. Likewise, I'll name a few pains and you guys can just put in a yes or a no in the chat box. That will help us mark your attendance as well. So the first pain we'll go about is back pain. So any of the attendees who experience mild to severe back pain can just drop in a yes in the. Okay, we have one yes. Okay. All right. The next pain, which we will is neck pain. Mild to severe neck pain. All those experiencing mild to severe neck pain can drop a yes in the chat box. Okay. All right. The third pain we'll address is wrist and hand pain. Severe to mild to moderate or severe wrist and hand pain. All the attendees experiencing this condition can drop in a yes in the chat box. Okay. All right. So last pain I'll talk about is any kind of knee or ankle pain. Knee pain or ankle pain. All those experiencing knee or ankle pain also can drop a yes in the chat box. Okay. So I have a general idea of the kind of pain that all our participants are experiencing. So basically, we'll talk about all of these activities and how these pains arise. And towards the end of the session, we'll also talk of probable solutions and ways in which we can reduce all these problems. Before addressing this major issue, we need to know what exactly is the meaning of the word ergonomics. So ergo means work and nomics means law. So altogether, ergonomics means it is a law of work. It is the way in which you fit your body efficiently to the kind of work that you do. So it is a science and art of fitting the job and the workplace to the employee's needs. Usually our work needs are not appropriate to our physical demands. So basically we sometimes tend to put a lot of strain and stress on our physical needs to fulfill our work demands. As a result, we need to adopt these ergonomical practices in order to work smarter and not harder, at the same time reduce physical strains in our body. So in general, there are certain benefits of ergonomics why we should adapt these practices. So primarily, it is used to decrease the risk of injury. Secondly, it helps in enhancing our productivity and we do make less mistakes and avoid rework. It also helps in enhancing our efficiency and it also decreases the lost work days. And the last is it helps in improving our morale. So these are all the various benefits of ergonomical practices and thus we should address. Now another important question that comes to our mind is why do we need to address the situation? So the situation has to be addressed right now during the pandemic because since we are exposing ourselves to prolonged hours of teaching online or using a screen for a long period of time, many of us have tend to experience many physical ailments or physical problems like the ones we named some time ago. So especially teachers, because they are spending a lot of time teaching their students and working for the institution, they are facing problems like dry and burning eyes, neck pain, backache, spasms, postural changes, etc. And because of which it's taking an extreme amount of toll on the physical health. And as we know, we're not seeing this condition to become any better at least for the next 3-4 months. So we need to start preparing ourselves to this condition and also how we can adapt ourselves and how can we make changes into our everyday activities so as to reduce the damage that these activities cause on our health. So hence it is important that we address this issue immediately. Okay. So now there are various factors that will cause physical problems and physical ailments. So now we look at what are the possible factors because of which we have so many physical problems, of which the first, which is the most dominant one, is the awkward posture. So most of us don't really pay a lot of attention on the way we hold ourselves, the way we sit to work, or maintain that posture for a long time. So we can have a lot of awkward posture, like we are excessively leaning forward to do some activity, the desk and the chair height not being appropriate. So any kind of awkward posture will lead to excessive and more strain or stress on those muscle groups, and as a result will cause it will alleviate more physical problems. This is the first point. Second is the continuous screen exposure. So as we all know, because of everything happening online and virtually right now, the amount of screen exposure that we're having is continuous. As a result, it has become very harmful for the eyes, and the visual problems have also increased correspondingly. And that continuous screen exposure is another factor. Third is the faulty use of equipment. So your equipment, by which I mean, is your normal chair or your desk with which you basically work, or the desk and the chair should be of appropriate height. They should be good enough to support your body correctly, so you're not overstraining your muscles of the body. So any faulty use of equipment will also cater to a physical problem. And the last factor is lack of actual physical activity. So as we all know, because the gyms have been shut down, because people are very skeptical as well, go out to parks and do any sort of physical activity. So because of which we started leading a very sedentary lifestyle for a very long time, and because of which again it has taken a great toll on our physical health. So as I mentioned, primarily of posture. So with respect to posture, I think we'll play a very small game out here. So I'll give you an activity, which is actually to keep yourself in a particular position at least till the end of this talk. So you should look at the kind of position that I hold right now, and it's important to hold this kind of position constantly throughout the entire talk. So you have to keep your head erect, your chin side, shoulders have to be straight, back has to be straight and erect. Your hip and knee should be at 90 degrees angle, and the foot should be placed exactly on the ground. So this is the posture that you have to attain at least for the entire talk of today's session. So again, I'll repeat the posture: head tucked inside, shoulders erect, back straight, hip and knee 90 degrees, and the foot flat on the ground. So this is posture. Try and maintain this throughout this entire talk. Okay. So continuing with the session. So what is posture and how does it affect our normal everyday activities? So when we have very poor posture, we tend to put an excessive strain on those muscles which have a particular capacity. So when when we're adapting a proper posture or a neck posture, what basically happens is that we take excessive load and strain on those amount of muscles that ideally should not be functioning with that amount of load or that amount of strain, and because of which it leads to damage and trauma to these muscles. Also, adapting a correct posture is extremely essential to maintain the head, neck, and spine in a proper aligned position. Because when you're not adapting a correct posture, what happens is that you're deviating the neck and the spine from the normal anatomical position, and because of which you're making it go into a very abnormal position. Again, because of which it leads to a great amount of strain on your muscles and other joints as well, because of which you may have a malaligned spine or a neck. Again, a good posture means that body is correctly aligned and supported by the right amount of muscle tension. So we are not putting any undue or excessive muscle tension on any other parts of the body. So now I'll talk about what is an awkward posture. So a few moments back, I told you what is the right posture. I told you exactly at the points with each joint that you need to maintain in order to maintain the right. So now we will speak a little about the awkward posture. So what is an awkward posture? When you're doing work. So basically, when the desk height is not appropriate to your height or to your chest or waist level, you tend to lean excessively forward on the desk, and because of which it again gives an extreme strain on your back. That is one which leads to an awkward posture. So leaning forward excessively on a desk, completely leaning forward, will again be a major problem of awkward posture. Second, twisting the head to look at a monitor or a phone. So if the screen is not exactly within the eye limits or at the level of your head, you have to actually twist your neck to see that particular screen. And continuous assumption of this position for the prolonged period of time will lead to excessive stress and strain on that particular muscles, again leading to an awkward posture. The third is repetition like mouse clicks and typing on the keyboard. When you're constantly typing on the keyboard and you keep your hand in this position for a prolonged period of time when you're typing, it tends to put an excessive pressure on your wrist area, and because of which again you can be subjected to extreme amount of pain around that area. Also, typing with wrist at all angles, raising the shoulder while typing. So basically your shoulders are not relaxed completely. You're putting your shoulders in a very shrugged position or in an upraised position, because of which every tightening of muscles around the shoulder joint, as a result, which will cause tightness along with pain. Also, reaching out to use the mouse. All of these basically are the criteria of an awkward posture, which all of us have to avoid as much as possible. So now we'll see what are the detrimental effects of poor posture. What does poor posture do to our body? So as we spoke earlier, it subjects us to extreme amount of pain, neck, back and shoulder pain. Second, it causes poor circulation. Now because of faulty posture, we are basically taking excessive pressure on a part, because of which is a constriction of the nerves and the blood supply out there. As a result, we got poor circulation as well. Now the third and fourth point, which is impaired lung function and poor digestion. Again, as I said, because we're leading a very sedentary lifestyle, and because of which we're not exerting ourselves good enough, as a result, our lung functioning and our digestive functioning will also be at a cost. As a result, our lung function and digestion will also be impaired to some extent. Again, other detrimental effects include constricted nerves and, as I said earlier, malaligned spine. So hence, adaptation of a correct posture is extremely important. Now, second most important point that we need to address is the continuous use of the screen. So I would like to ask you all, what is the average amount of screen time that each of you guys expose yourselves to in a day on an average? You guys can just put your answers in the chat box. The average amount of time spent on the screen per day. 7 to 8 hours, okay. 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours, okay. Okay, so on average we basically have some 6 to 7 hours is the average time. That is also a lot to expose yourself to every day. Exposing yourself to 6 to 7 hours is absolutely a great toll on your eyes as well. So due to constant use of screen for prolonged time, following are the problems which can be seen. So all these symptoms that are seen in people are very subjective. Some experience very drying of the eyes, some experience burning sensation in the eyes, others may see that the eyes are excessively watering. There is another problem which is common, which is cervicogenic headache. So basically due to exposure to the screen for a prolonged period of time, there is a very throbbing kind of a sensation which is set in the head, extreme and very high amount of headache which can be seen. And again there is increased strain on the eyes, and when after you look at the screen for a long time and then you look to some other object, you can also experience blurring of vision. So all of these are the problems which are seen due to continuous use of the screen. The second aspect is faulty use of equipment. So like I mentioned previously, the equipment that you work with, your chair, your table, or your computer screen, all of it has to be well equipped according to your personal needs. So ideally, when we use a chair, the chair should be completely according to your height. At the same time, ideally a chair should have a backrest. It also should have an armrest to rest your arms. At the same time, you must also be using a footrest under your foot to help in stabilizing your foot as well. These are all the ideal conditions that are required to help your body maintain the right amount of support. So basically, faulty use of equipment. In faulty use of equipment, we have inappropriate height of desk and chair, no use of back support, absence of armrest, absence of footrest, and no maintenance of safe screen to eye distance. So in case if the ideal facilities are not available, we can still do some modifications. We can still make it come to a near ideal level. So basically, in case if you don't have a backrest to a chair, a pillow can just go between your back and the chair, and it helps in supporting your back. If you don't have an armrest, a towel rolls, or just putting a pillow under your arm will also work wonders. At the same time, if proper footrest is not available, a small stool can also do below your leg. So these modifications will also help in addressing the issue. The next is the common musculoskeletal disorders which are commonly seen. So here there is neck pain, back pain, arm and hand pain, and knee and foot pain. If all these are not taken care of, these conditions can be aggravated and further cause problems. But here the good news is that all these problems do of course have a solution, and there are simple ways to help yourself. And now we need to address as to what should be done. So first we'll talk about the kind of lighting in the house or when you're working on the screen. So what we need to do is we should avoid any kind of ambient lighting. Avoid ambient lighting that is too dim. So when the light in our area is very dim and you work in a very dim light, it causes excessive strain on your eyes and it puts extreme pressure on them. At the same time, if you sit in a room with excessively bright light, it causes similar problems, causing excessive strain on your eyes. So what is important is that you maintain the intensity of the light to not in the extreme ranges, but to at least in the moderate levels. The next is, while working on the screen, the overall light intensity of the screen and that of the ambient lighting must be the same, which means when you're sitting inside a room, the lighting of the room should be nearly same to that of the screen intensity of light. So if you sit in a very dark room with very bright light from the laptop, it is very harmful. Likewise, if you're sitting in a very bright room with very dim light of the laptop, again it is it can cause a lot of problems. So what is important is that we maintain the overall light intensity of the screen and the ambient system. Also, bluish lights on screen interferes with circadian rhythm, while yellow lights are easier for the eyes. What is circadian rhythm is basically, it is a natural cycle which addresses the physical, mental and behavioral approach. It basically is the sleep-wake cycle of the body. So it can disrupt that kind of this cycle, circadian rhythm can be disturbed in case of the blue light, and hence we should go for the yellowish colors of the light. So now what are the tips for easing the eye strain? So there are a few exercises, a few tips that can be taken into consideration to reduce the strain on our eyes. So one is keep eye drops handy. So a well-prescribed eye drop which is given to you by a physician can be always kept handy in case you have all these irritations of the eyes. Next is get yourself checked for your eye number, wear proper spectacles while reading or any kind of computer activities. Constantly wear them. Next is eat lunch or dinner away from the screen. The main aim of this is when you is taking intermittent breaks. So when you're getting up for lunch, when you're getting up for dinner, basically it is giving yourself a rest period of time to avoid the screen exposure. So make sure you get up, you go out to eat your lunch, go out to eat dinner, and not in front of the screen. Also set a timer to rest your eyes. Now this follows the 20-20-20 rule. That is, you need to take a break after every 20 minutes. And in that break, you need to look away from the screen and look at something which is at 20 feet distance for 20 seconds. So take a break after 20 minutes, look at something away from the screen for at 20 feet and also for 20 seconds. So when you do this, it will help in reducing the damage which is caused to the eye with prolonged exposure. Also, at the same time, we have various exercises as well. So we'll just do a few of them. So if all the participants can just switch their videos on, we can have a small session of these eye exercises and later just continue with our session. So I demonstrate the eye exercises. The attendees can just switch their videos on, observe my screen, observe what I am doing, and try and do the same. So first eye exercise is you make your eyeballs go from side to side. So observe me, you see on the right, then you completely turn your eyeballs and see on the left. So this we can repeat 3 times. So right, left, that is 1 repetition. Again right, left, repetition number 2. And 3rd repetition, right and left. That is exercise 1. The second one is we need to turn the eyeballs up and down. So now the same way, look completely up, take your eyeballs down. That is exercise, that is repetition 1. Second repetition, look up and now look down. Again look up and look down. That is exercise number 2. The third exercise is we turn your eyeballs in the form of a circle. So look up, then draw a circle with your eyeballs. That completes the first repetition. Draw a second circle with your eyeballs. And last is the third circle. That is the third exercise. Next, we move our eyeballs in a diagonal pattern. So from left topmost to right bottommost, and then the right topmost to the left bottommost. So you turn the eyeballs in the form of a diagonal. Repetition 1, second time. Repetition 2, and repetition 3. And the last one is put your finger on the nose and try to get your eye to concentrate inwards on the tip of the finger. So this is 1, hold for some time and then release. Look up. Again, you see the finger and again look back. And the last repetition and look straight. So these are all the exercises that we can keep implementing in the small breaks that we take. We can do 3 sets of 10 repetitions each. And all these exercises are basically very beneficial to help in reducing the strain, which is basically put on our eyes with a prolonged screen exposure. So now I would like to hand over to Dr. Twinkle to carry forward the session.
Hi everybody, this is Dr. Twinkle. So before we move forward, so we just saw about the 20-20 rule and it's been over 20 minutes since this session is going on. So let's just take a break and follow this 20-20 rule. So all of you just look away from your screen 20 feet far, just blink normally or just blink normally and breathe and look away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. Now all of y'all can look back towards the screen. So you can put a reminder to do this every 20 minutes. Okay. So as you can see in the first image, this is how we normally sit when we are using a laptop or a computer. Normally we tend to look forward, bend forwards from your neck, straining your neck. The upper back is always leaning towards the screen. You're slouching, so there is pressure on your back. And also your wrist and your elbows are never in one line. So ideally they are supposed to be in one line. So either your wrist is too high or too low. And your feet is either too forward or too far from you. So that's why just make sure that whenever you're sitting, you're sitting erect, your shoulders are wide, your neck is neutral and not leaning forward. Your screen is in front of the eyes. Your back is supported. If you do not have a proper backrest, you could use a pillow, especially to cover the curve of the low back. Then your wrist and your elbow has to be in one line, not too up or not too down. So that would otherwise cause strain on your wrist, and your shoulders have to be relaxed. So especially when you are typing, making any presentations, you tend to, while typing, just tighten up the shoulders too much. So you're supposed to remember, just be conscious about it, that you're supposed to relax your shoulders when you type. So if you do not have a proper height, you could just stack a few books or pillow or thick pillows so that it matches the level at your eye. So in the right image, you can see the first one. This is how we all normally sit, but ideally this is how we are supposed to sit. So your back has to be erect, a pillow placed at the low back to maintain the curvature of the spine, and the neck neutral and feet resting on the floor. The second image here shows if you want to work on the slouch, but ideally it is not recommended. But if you have to work on the couch for some time, just make sure your back is supported. You can try and set up the height of the laptop in such a manner that it is in front of your eyes, or you could adjust the screen accordingly of your laptop and place few pillows between your knees so that your back is properly supported. Okay, so we saw this every 20 minutes you are supposed to take a break, not just for your eyes, but just for your muscles. Relax your hands, just open up them, take rest breaks. Like if you have to do any work, just get up from that place. If you just have a water break, maybe just get up, go to the kitchen, have water and come back. Eye breaks, which we already saw, you could do those exercises. So towards the healthy, so to avoid all the pain, discomfort that we experience after sitting for a prolonged period of time, just take a deep breath, breathe in through your nose and blow out. Okay, just take deep breaths frequently. If you have to deliver a message to your children, to your wife, to your husband, or to your mom, you could just get up from that place, go to that person personally and tell them the message, come back and sit. Because even such breaking your posture for just 5 to 10 seconds actually could avoid a lot of discomfort. So now we are going to do a few exercises. You all can do it with me. We'll do all three. We'll do three repetitions of most of the exercises. Okay, if there is any doubt or anything, you all can put it in the chat box. Also, you all can take screenshots of any of the slides for your reference. So now let's start. Also, don't forget the posture game that we are playing. All of you all just straighten up, sit properly. Okay, so we'll start now. Now look down from your neck. And now look up. Come back to center. This is repetition 1. Again, look down. Look up. And come back to center. One more time. Look down. Look up. And come back to center. Okay, so we'll do the next one now. Look to your left. Come back to center. Look towards the right. Come back to the center. 2 more times. Left. Center. Right. Center. 1 more time. Left. Center. Right. And center. Okay, now we are going to do neck rotations. So just rotate your neck towards one side. 1, 2, 1 more time, and 3. Now again do it in the opposite direction. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, similarly, you could do this tilting to one side and tilting to the other side. All of these exercises you can do 5 to 10 repetitions. Now the next one, now place both your hands on your shoulder and now move it from front to back. This is 1, 2, one more time, and 3. Now in the opposite direction, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So next is the ankle pump. So while sitting only, so imagine this is your ankle. So just move it up and down. Okay, while sitting, do it up and down. Again, up and down. One more time, up and down. Okay, so now similar to the neck, you're going to move your ankle in one direction. 1, 2, 3. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now while sitting, both your feet on the floor and just lift your heels up. Suppose imagine this is your feet, just lift the heels up. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this exercise you can do even in standing. You could do all of these exercises 5 to 10 times. Okay. So now while sitting only, many of us experience that after you get up after sitting for a few hours, you feel numb in your buttocks. So to avoid that, after every half an hour or 1 hour at least, I would recommend that you do this exercise while sitting. Just squeeze your buttocks tightly and hold there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and relax. Again squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and relax. Again squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So next is the wall push-up. As you can see in this image, place both your hands on the wall, but in this make sure that your shoulders are relaxed and you are not tightening them up. So relax your shoulders, place both the hands on the wall and then just lean towards the wall. So that's a wall push-up. That also you could do 5 to 10 repetitions. The next is the tennis ball release. So tennis ball or the Whelan release is an amazing technique to feel better immediately, but it doesn't have a long-term effect if you do not combine it with exercise. So now most of us experience neck pain and upper back pain, especially after sitting for a long period of time. So you could just take a tennis ball, put it in the area, stand against the wall, put it in an area where it's hurting, lean against the wall and then just rotate side to side or up and down. You could do it in small areas. So you could do it here for 2 minutes, then just take the ball, put it a slightly lower where it's hurting, again side to side or up and down, whatever is comfortable for you. So that you could do for 2 minutes once a day. But this technique is effective when it is combined with normal exercises. The thoracic expansion. So for this, I would like all of you to make a namaste position. Place it near your chest and in line with your nose. So now you have to move towards one side, but make sure that your nose and your hands are in one line. You do not have to just move more with your neck or less with your neck. So it has to be in one line because we want the upper back movement in this. So just place here, move towards the left, go there, hold there for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, then come back to the center. Do it on the other side. Your nose and your palms in one line. 1, 2, 3, come back to the center. 2 more. Move towards the left. 1, 2, 3, come back to the center. Again to the other side. 1, 2, 3, come back to the center. One last time. 1, 2, 3, center, the other side, last time, 1, 2, 3 and come back to the center. Okay, so this is for your upper back if you feel too stiff and all, but just make sure that you're not just moving your neck, you're moving the upper body. So remember to keep your nose and hands in one line while moving to other side. So as you can see, this stretch is a stretch to this both stretches are to feel a stretch on your chest. So you stand on against the wall, just place your hand and then just move forward. So you'll feel a very good stretch on the front of your chest. Then the other is towards the door. Just place both your hands on the door side and then just lean forward. So you're going to feel a very good stretch in the anterior of your chest. Okay, so the next are the wrist stretches. So again, as we did it in the ankle, your wrist, just take the wrist, move it down, 1, and up. Again, down, 2, and take it up, move it down, and up. Okay, so these exercises moving up and down, and now turning to one side. Straighten, palm towards the ceiling, and now palm towards the floor. Palm towards the ceiling, 2, and palm towards the floor. One more time. Palm towards the ceiling and palm towards the floor. So this exercises, you can do it with a half liter of bottle as well. Just keep it beside you. You could just hold it and take it up and down and just move it up accordingly. The other is just rotating your wrist as we did it in the ankle. First we will do it in one direction. 1, 2, and 3. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this you can do it in both the hands together also. So the other is we'll do a stretch. So now just straighten your hand, your fingers facing towards the ceiling. Just hold it from here and then gently pull it towards you. But in this, make sure you're not tightening up your shoulder. Shoulders relax and then just gently pulling it towards you. Hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Again, do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. Similarly, you could just place your fingers facing towards the floor and pull it towards you. Okay, the other is, after sitting as typing, like you all have to make presentations and all. So right now, after typing and all, after you get up at the end of the day, you feel that there is too much weakness in your hand. Even while holding a bottle, many a times you might feel that, your hands are too weak to hold anything. So that's because there is less strength in your hand muscles. So for that, you could take a yellow color, the smiley ball, which we get normally in the stationery. Just hold that ball, squeeze it, hold for 5 counts and relax. You could do all these exercises for 5 to 10 repetitions. You could take a paper, normal any kind of paper, and then just crumble it up. And then again open it, again crumble it up, open it. And the other is one more thing you can do, a rubber band which we normally tie in our heads, or even the ones which we tie on the money. So you just place it around here and then gently open it, hold it for 5 to 10 counts and relax. Again open it, hold it for 5 to 10 counts and relax. Okay, so these are the few exercises that you could do for your hand and wrist. Yeah, this is the most common thing which is normally observed in all of us. When we sit on the computer or laptop, what we tend to do is just, put our neck outwards towards the screen. So there's a lot of stress caused on the neck. So it is very important to understand or just be conscious about it. You do not have to take too much stress about it, otherwise you end up tightening it up too much. You just have to be conscious about it that whenever you are like this, this is not the ideal posture. So what you could do is just place 2 fingers on your chin and then gently glide it in. All of you all please do it with me. Just 2 fingers on your chin and glide it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and relax. Again glide it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time, just glide it in. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this also is a very good exercise to just loosen up all these muscles and to get your neck into a neutral position again. So now we are going to do 2 stretches. It's very important that you do these 2 stretches because these are the most common muscles that are affected and tightened up when you sit on a computer for a prolonged time. So what you're going to do is sit erect. Again, all the posture game is still on. So all of you all just sit erect. Place your one hand down or behind your back and then just lean your neck towards the other side. With the other hand, place it on your head and gently pull it down and hold it there. We'll do for 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and relax. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and relax. You could do similarly on the other side. So ideally all of the stretches that we are going to do are recommended that you do for 3 to 5 repetitions and hold for 30 counts. Okay, so the next one is similarly, just place one hand down on the floor or behind your back, look towards the other side and then look down towards your opposite armpit. So you look down, then place your hand on the head and gently pull it down towards the other armpit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. One more time. Gently pull it down. Don't pull it too hard. Just gently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 and relax. Okay, similarly you can do it on the other side. So when you're doing on this, when you're doing on your right, the muscle on the left is getting stretched. Okay. Yeah, so these are the other few stretches. So place your hand behind your head and then just move towards your left, come back, move towards your right and come back to the center. 2 more times we'll do. Left, center, right and center. One more time. Left, center, right and center. Okay, so the next one is that while sitting only, just make your hand like this, just entangle into each other, straighten it up towards the ceiling and pull yourself up and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, just pull it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, the other stretches which are simple are easily shown in the image. If still you all have any doubts, you all can ask me at the end of the session or you all can take a screenshot. Yeah, so now these are the few stretches which you can do against the wall. So the side bending or leaning towards it, pulling your knee towards the chest. So all of these stretches are really good and effective, but while doing them, just make sure that you are not just putting your neck forward or loosening it up and taking it forward. Otherwise, you could cause a strain on your neck. The other thing is that you're not arching your back too much. Again, it would give a back pain otherwise. So for that, just remember that you have to gently take your tummy slightly in. So you're going to just pull your tummy or your navel slightly inwards. So that would just flatten up the back. So the other, many of us face back pain also after sitting for a prolonged time. So this image that you can see is very effective for back pain. So you lie on your tummy, place both your palms besides your shoulder, push onto the palms and then just come up. But in this again, make sure that you are not looking too up, not looking too down. Your neck has to be neutral. So you're not causing a strain on your neck. So this is also again a child pose. You just lie down like this and then go behind, sit on your heels. So you would feel a very good stretch in your entire back. So these are the few other stretches. We've already seen the hand raise pose. The seated twist, I would suggest that you all do it with the namaste one which we did, because otherwise you would just move your neck more than the back. So the purpose of the exercise wouldn't be fulfilled. So just do this with the namaste. The moon pose also which we did, moving to one side. In the chair pigeon pose, when you sit like that, so you make sure that your neck is neutral and you're not bending or slouching too much from your back. So what you're going to do is when you're sitting, just you're going to move downwards from your hip. Okay, just be conscious about it that you have to move down from your hip and not from your back. So why physical activity is important and what is physical activity? So anything that gets you moving. is physical activity. So that's why how we discussed that, even if you have to deliver a message to somebody, just get up from your place, go, just give the message and come back. Because any posture that you sit in is not harmful unless it is maintained for a prolonged period of time. If you keep changing your positions often, the discomfort and pain that you normally feel would half of them would be reduced if you just keep changing your position often. So while exercising, it is important that you exercise safely and wisely. So drink enough water, always perform 5 to 10 minutes of warm up and cool down before and after your workout. Wear comfortable clothing. Pay attention to any discomfort that you may feel during exercise. So whenever you're doing any kind of exercise and if you experience any kind of pain, it is just a sign from your body that that exercise that you are doing is either not suiting you or you are doing it in a wrong manner. But again, it is very important to notice that there is a difference between the stretch that you feel and the pain. So again, try this exercise once, which we did, just pulling it. When you pull it, you're going to feel a very good stretch on your hand. That's a stretch. And whenever you are experiencing the problems or discomfort that you are experiencing, otherwise that's pain. So it's very important to know the difference between the pain and a stretch. Okay, so if you have any comorbidities like blood pressure, diabetes, it is always safe that you look into your medications and then exercise accordingly. Okay, so static positions are your enemy. If you're going to slouch and sit for one day or for 15 minutes, it's not going to cause you harm. But if you keep sitting in that position for prolonged days and months, so that's going to harm your back a lot. So just static. So that's why changing your position often is very important. Whenever you think of it, just change your position. Still, even right now, a posture game is on. So again, just be conscious, think about it, and just straighten up your posture. Small, frequent stretches go a long way. Okay, so this is the most common thing that is always asked, or a point where everybody is always confused about when to use a hot pack and when to use an ice pack. So if you have had a recent injury or there is swelling, you will always go with ice pack. If you have had an injury that's been there for weeks and months, and if you feel that there is too much of tightness and stiffness that you are feeling, but provided there is no swelling, then you can use a hot pack. But you can use both of them for 10 to 20 minutes, twice to thrice a day. But whenever you are in doubt, you just go with icing. And whenever there is a swelling, no hot pack ever. So otherwise it would aggravate your swelling. So whenever there is a swelling, always go with ice pack. Thank you. So any of y'all, if y'all can't ask here also, and if y'all want to personally also ask us any doubts, y'all can email it to us, and this is our website. You can go through it, and on Instagram, you can follow for future discussions or future such webinars also. Thank you. Now we'll take up your questions. You all can take screenshot of the few slides or the exercises that you all need. We won't be able to send you all the entire PPT.
Ma'am, I had a doubt.
Hello, yeah, you can ask me.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
The one stretch which you told for neck stretch, like to see to see the opposite armpit. So how is it not the so how it is different with the trapezius stretch? Upper trapezius.
Hello.
Yeah, the third one, levator's cap stretch.
Hello.
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 Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you come again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the third stretch which you showed about levator's cap. So how it is different from the trapezius stretch?
Okay. In levator, when you look towards one side and then you look towards the armpit, but in the trapezius stretch, you look towards one side and then you look up when you're pulling it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Ma'am, can we get recording for it? Hello?
Yes.
Can we get recording of this?
That we will check with the team and let you all know about
Because
it.
you know, the lot of exercise has been told and it is difficult to remember the exercise. If we get the recording, it will be helpful.
Yeah, so that's why I've tried to put very simple pictures. You can just take screenshots of those exercises, and I think the pictures are almost self-explanatory. So you want to, I can put the
Recording will send to group.
Yes, please put it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any other questions coming up?
Okay, there is one question. Eye exercises get water into my eyes. What will I do? Okay, so while doing the exercises, if they are giving you watery eyes, just break those exercises. You could do 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, just like that. Break it if the exercise is doing continuously so many things is giving you watery eyes. Any more questions? Okay, I think there are no questions then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so about those asking for videos and all, so the video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel as well as on the group. Other than that, if you have any queries, you can ask in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Finally, I would like to thank you, Mr. Dr. Twinkle Karia and Dr. Siddhai Gaurav, for guiding us through this wonderful session. Also, thank you very much to our participants. You have been a great audience. I hope the session was really helpful for you. Please do share your feedback with us, which will help us get better. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.